All right, so in today's episode, we have a very special guest, and we have cocktails and talk. Welcome to the Grand App Show. It's a little different take this time. We have a very special guest, and as you can see, we have some real live props. Cheers, welcome to the show. Brought my friend Jon O'Connor from Long Road Distillers on, and we got some product to sample. So welcome to the show, man. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Appreciate the opportunity to be here, man.
So I want to start out a little different. Before even introducing yourself or what we're doing the show for, I want to know an untold story about Long Road that nobody knows.
An untold story about Long Road that nobody knows.
Exciting.
Oh, man, I like this. Just getting me right off the gate here. Oh, man, that's a tough one. Well, man.
Everybody knows all the stories?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty...
One you can kind of say, but you can't, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty forthcoming about things, I think. I mean, you know, it's interesting. I was joking with you before we got on here that we used to have a thing we called East Walker Social Club, which was just like this idea that we were going to hang out in their garage. We always used to want to call, you know, you can't legally make liquor without a federal permit.
Right.
So, you know, when we're getting started, like we're ordering our stuff, and we're like, we've never made booze before. And so we're like, how do we do this? You know, I made some like wine in a bucket once in college, a couple of homebrew batches, and I would not fancy myself like a maker of alcohol. And so, yeah, we might have had a little still that lived out in East Walker somewhere and had a few test batches go on just to see if we could make something happen. So
A little social club?
A little social club.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, I've actually never brewed anything in my life, so I don't know the process. But I remember we were talking at an event, and when you set up your plant, you had tanks, right? One from Germany, I want to say?
Yep.
What was that setup?
So yeah, we have two big stills. We ordered one from Germany, which is like, you know, the Germans do things really well.
Yeah.
So it's like I say the Porsche of stills. It's got all these fancy German PLC electronic control stuff.
Yep.
And then we got one from Louisville, Vendome Copper still. It's the best whiskey stills in the world. You know, anybody you've had good brown liquor from, Wild Turkey or Four Roses or Buffalo Trace, they got a Vendome. So we knew if we wanted to make good whiskey, we had to have the best.
I actually had Buffalo Trace yesterday.
It's pretty phenomenal stuff.
It was good. This is actually super smooth. This is really good. This is phenomenal, by the way.
Oh, thanks. We're real proud of that. You know, when you start a distillery, there's kind of three ways you can do it. You know, you can be a marketing company and just source booze from somebody else.
Yeah.
And then you can be dumb like us and call yourself Long Road and just commit to making everything and not buying anything from anybody else. And so, you know, we're celebrating 3 years open here in May, or this month, I guess. And so that's our oldest whiskey to date. That's a 2+ year old bourbon, done the proper way.
Which tastes fantastic. Now, what? All right. So the real question is, why in the world did you get into this?
I like whiskey.
Okay, that's a good start.
I like cocktails.
Yeah.
You know, we live in Beer City.
Yeah.
I love it here. I love all my friends in the brew community.
Oh, you see, there's a fact. You're like the only since a certain time. You're like the first.
We're the first in the history of Grand
That's
Rapids.
right.
From all the research we did at the library and the public museum and whatnot, we cannot find evidence of another legal distillery in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Ever. And so yeah, my business partner Kyle and I, we'd take our wives, we'd go wine tasting, beer tours. And I kept saying, man, I really love cocktails and I love whiskey and I love interesting spirits, and nobody was doing it here. And I thought, you know, why not us?
Yeah.
A buddy of ours, so we were hanging out drinking whiskey one night, and he said, you know, drank a lot of whiskey, and you know, you talk about crazy things when you're drinking whiskey sometimes. And he finally said, why don't you two dudes just do this? Like, stop talking about it. Somebody needs to do it. It might as well be you. And so we did. Like, we just tried to figure it out. And yeah, it's been a kind of a wild ride to get to the point you can do this. But we, you know, it was not just making spirits. It was like we wanted to do a cocktail bar. I know that, you know, we've had some really great beer bars. We've had some restaurants that did drinks pretty well, but there's never been like a real solid cocktail bar that made it in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
And, spent a lot of time in Detroit. That's where my wife's from, up that way. And
That's where I'm from. Yep.
And so there's this just absolutely amazing bar in Corktown called the Sugar House.
Okay.
And my buddy Dave Kay owns it, and he I just took this old building when the economy was still crap in Detroit, and like it was everywhere. And he had lived in Chicago, spent a lot of time in cool cocktail bars in Chicago, and like it's like the foundation of cocktails in Michigan is this bar,
Okay.
Sugar House. And the first time I walked in the door, I was just blown away by this place.
Yeah.
It's like there's dirty Detroit rock and roll playing. There's all this. It's all brick walls. All this weird taxidermy. It's dark. There's like smoke going off from all these cocktails they're making, and I'm just it was like sensory overload, and it just like, holy shit, I love cocktails.
That was it?
Like I want to do this, and so then we had the ability with our distillery to have a tasting room, and so we want to do cocktails right, and so it's just like this marriage of these two things that we really wanted to do.
I love it, man. You guys 3 years, right? So 3 years, and you guys are like becoming a very, very quick staple and like a huge favorite in the community. Because when I posted on Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere, Instagram that you're coming, and people were like, "What? I never been there. I love that place." Which is kind of weird. People haven't been there, so right? I was like,
come on down, 7 days a week, we're open.
Right, and like we're friends on Facebook, so he sees that. It's like, come on, like Brooke, like you got to come, right? Check it out. So no, that's cool. What I do want to do is you kind of referenced it a little bit, your logo and the branding. I want to jump into Q&A just real quick. Do you got that pulled up, Matt?
Absolutely.
So these are from LinkedIn. So we got two of them, right?
Yeah.
Couple, yeah.
First question comes from Cameron. He wants to know why you chose the West Side.
Why we chose the West Side?
You're actually a little more like
that was the easiest decision we made. I moved here 18 years ago to go to Grand Valley. I lived out in Allendale a couple of years, and then moved to Lake Michigan in Gold. Beautiful corner if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
My background's urban studies. I've started doing some work at the Neighborhood Association in college. I just fell in love with the West Side. Man.
Yeah.
I love the neighborhoods. I love the people. I love the business districts, the parks, and it felt like home to me. And so I got really involved over there. I actually met my business partner, both serving on the board of the West Grand Neighborhood Organization.
Yep. And you sat on a lot of boards too.
Yeah, I've been pretty
Been
involved.
helping out, yeah.
Pretty involved in the community.
Yeah.
And so when we cracked this idea, there was no place we were doing it but the West Side. It's our neighborhood. We both still live on the West Side. We're extremely committed to giving back public service on the West Side. Like it's what we do. It's our neighborhood. And
I have a property on the West Side. I live in Hartside. I'm still really close. I live really close here.
Hey,
but I'm,
still technically West
Side.
Division,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're still
Yep.
West Side.
Yep.
And it was just we had just championed. There's a lot of great long-standing businesses over there.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we saw just a ton of opportunity. We had a couple friends that own the Mint Brewing Company, and they had made a pretty significant investment in that neighborhood. And so when we got a chance to pull the trigger and do it, my background's in real estate, and I saw that building, and I knew those guys, and so we're like, this is too cool. Brewery, distillery, one corner. And then our buddies opened the barbecue shop, and we're like, just like this little concentration of energy there's a lot of great things happening on the West Side now, but it's fun to be part of our little corner of just kind of bootstrap guys that are just doing it their way.
It's interesting, the West Side's got a lot of movement now, but you've been part of it for a long time.
Yeah, I've been.
So you created the movement?
I don't know if I.
So you heard it here first, right? Jon created the West Side culture and movement, and we need to clip that little part.
I don't think that's there.
I'm just kidding. Full disclaimer, maybe not.
I'm happy to play my little part in it.
All right, no, absolutely. No, I live on the West Side all through college. Mm-hmm. Watson, 4th Street. Yeah. That's like where I grew up. Like when I came downtown, that was it.
Yeah, West Side's the best side.
100%. I'm all for that. So we gotta push it because we got some real estate over there. So we gotta build it up, right?
Hey,
appreciation.
Property values are going up fast enough, my friend.
Appreciation. What's the next one we got? We got one more.
Yeah. Mario wants to know what the inspiration of your logo and what that came from and how that started.
He kind of alluded to it if you picked up on it, I think.
Yeah, so I think it's the name and the logo kind of play together. So the name Long Road is really our commitment to doing things the right way. We take the long road to get there. Think about beer. The parallels are kind of opposite of beer. Beer was like, hey, there's these big conglomerate brands. The little guys can do it better. Yeah. We talk about whiskey, especially. The big guys make really good stuff because they got two things I don't have a whole lot of, and that's time and money. But at the same time, there's a reason their stuff tastes the best is because they give it the right amount of time and they do it the right way. And so Long Road was our commitment to just, if we're going to do it, we're going to do things how they should be done.
Going to be in it for stay with it.
Yeah. And then, we're looking for some help, like all startup businesses, I need somebody to make a logo. That's important.
Yeah.
So we got on I think it was Behance or one of those sites.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We started scrolling through that and looking at all these local guys' logos, and we found this guy Josh Kalchar. He works at Full Circle.
Okay, yeah.
And so we just reached out to him and said, hey man, you want to have coffee and talk to us? And we're like, hey, we don't have any money. We just need a logo. And we like met at this coffee shop, and I'm sure he had no idea that his life would be so consumed with Long Road projects.
Oh, really?
To this point.
That's cool.
But yeah, we wanted to keep it simple. We actually incorporated under a different name, but then changed to Long Road. So there was another name.
What was the other name?
The original name was going to be called Descendant Distillers. I mean,
What do you guys think?
Maybe that's the fact I should have told. That was my fact.
That is a little hidden fact. What do you guys think? Descendant? You like Long Road better?
Like Long Road better.
Yeah, I do too.
And so yeah, then when we told him that we wanted it pretty stark, pretty simple. I mean, I like things pretty minimalistic and
same.
And bold, and that he did just a fabulous job with the icon and the badge. And
So did he make this too?
he did not design the whole packaging. He designed all the logo stuff, all the fonts. And then we work with the guy Adam Barr. He's a local creative copywriter guy that helps us out a lot. Does a lot of our slogans and stuff.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I love it.
You can drink more of that, Chris, if you want. I mean, it's.
Another
It is
glass.
Friday.
You got to pour it though. You're the master, cocktail master.
I mean, I'm just pouring whiskey in a glass. I have an Irish hand. I get a little carried away sometimes.
So I do want to. What's up, man? You want to come in? You want to say hi, maybe? We got Seisu over here. So we got Seisu Long Road. So this is a gift for us. So I know it's Friday. So Seisu's in sales.
Oh, nice.
So he's in sales. So he has a very stressful job. He's getting rejected, shut down all the time. So
I want to eat some of that.
yeah. So we'll have a glass after, right? I'm going on number 2, right? But we got to taste the product. But so, looking at people who want to get in the service industry, right, or even make their own brand, because it kind of seems sexy now, right? It does seem sexy. It's Beer City. Everybody's doing it. What are some things you could tell people who are thinking about doing it?
It's hard. But, ultimately, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I work for my past life in real estate, I work for myself.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing more rewarding than working for yourself and building something.
Yeah.
And, I think my biggest advice is find something you love and do it authentically. Do it the way, like, do it for you. Don't, like, do it just because you want to make a buck.
Right.
Like, you have to find a reason to do it, and you got to follow through on that reason. And it's harder. It's harder to do it that way sometimes, but it's more rewarding at the end.
Yeah. Cheers. True entrepreneurship right there, right? 100%, man. That's what. No, I mean we're the same. We've been we're on year 8 now.
Oh.
And it's been like.
How old were you when you started this place then?
So when I started, I was.
I imagine
20,
you're younger than me.
I'm 29.
Oh yeah, you're way younger.
Just turned. How old are you?
37. 36.
36. Yeah. So I was born in '89. So I graduated college 2011 from Grand Valley.
Okay.
And I started when I was literally 21, going on 22. And this is my first business ever that I ever started.
Good for you.
It was hard as shit. It was the hardest
It's
thing.
still hard, isn't it?
I waited tables I waited tables all of 2011, 2012, and half of 2013. Like literally waited tables on the weekend. Friday I would close, and then I'd work a double Saturday, and then I'd work a double Sunday. So I was going on like probably 30-ish hours, right? Working that. And then I would come into our office, which was a basement from Jake, my business partner's chiropractic clinic, work in the basement for 60 hours a week. And I didn't know how to start a business. I just graduated college. I had probably about like 17 jobs, just like little shit here and there. We didn't know how to do anything. That's John, who I wanted you to meet. Me and him like started it. We're the operators, and we sat in the basement, and we're like, how do you email people? Is this too long of an email? Like, how do you sell something? Like, what do we do? We have no clue. And it was just.
But you gotta go out and make mistakes, right? Like that's it. But just like my grandfather always told me, like it's okay to make mistakes. You gotta make mistakes. Just don't make the same one twice, and learn from them. And you just go out and just keep punching.
What's the worst mistake you made? One, I'll give you one. I'll let you kind of think about that one. The worst mistake we ever made was we have an app platform, right? And we built this list of chiropractors. We spent an entire month going on Google, searching chiropractors, putting them in a Google Drive sheet. And we literally spent an entire month after calling them and saying, hey sir, we'll build a mobile app for you. It's gonna be free setup and only $50 a month, and we're adding the numbers in our head, right? Like a young newbie entrepreneur looking to get rich quick, so we can go sit on an island and retire and drink our bourbon. And we're like, oh my God, we're gonna get thousands of them in. We're gonna have like $50,000 a month recurring revenue coming in. It's me and you. We're gonna sit back and it's so good, right? We signed up 3 after month 3. And then they all canceled after month 6. And that's when I learned if people don't pay, they don't really appreciate it, right? And giving stuff away free doesn't always work in that aspect, right? We had no follow-up or a strategy of giving away free to do it. It was just, we're going to sign them all up. And there's like, well, we cancel. And our partner, Jake, our mentor, told us not to do it. And we went against him, and we wasted Larry 3 to 4 months. And I'm not pissed at it. You learn, right? Because now you know. But it was just like, damn, if we'd have put 3 months, like, actually valuing what we do on top of it. And that was 7 years ago when mobile was even more sparse.
Right.
So that was like a pretty big first startup mistake that we had.
Yeah, I think if you ask me what my biggest mistake is, and this is recent, within the past few weeks actually, my past life is in real estate. I'm a real estate broker and real estate appraiser, and we've bought and sold a lot of buildings as part of our like business cooperative, and we've been looking for a bigger warehouse. We bought and sold a few things, made some good money. Yeah. Like, all right, we found this new building and wanted something close to us. I couldn't find it. Found this great building in Wyoming that we loved. We thought. And didn't do my diligence on it like I should have. And like we know what we're doing. Like we're all pretty experienced in real estate stuff, and it just was too far away and too whatever. It just didn't work, and we just paid for it for a year. And then when we sold it, like the roof was a piece of shit, and a whole bunch of shenanigans happened, and we walked away, and we didn't really make any money on the deal, and probably cost me more money than it was worth, and
and time
and headache and heartache and lawyer bills and all kinds of shit. And you're just like, you know what? You live and you learn. Yeah. We did well up to that point, but just you gotta don't make mistakes that you can't recover from, right? Like I think that's a mistake I made.
Calculated risks.
It's okay to be risky because we've risked a bunch of times, and we've won a bunch of times, and then we've risked. That was I think the one time we risked, and it didn't work out in our favor. But you know what? It's no here nor there at this point. We're done with it. We paid our stupid tax, and we're on to the next thing.
And that's like business too, like entrepreneurs, and that's kind of like my circles that I run in, same as you, and like that's kind of like the following that like we're building up and like we're cultivating. And it's all a mixture, right? Like we're connected in real life and digital, and like some people in digital like brand new and starting up. Actually, I'm really curious now that we got a drink about what do you think about, because you're a little older than me, we established that.
I am.
So you've been around the game a little longer. What do you think about this whole movement of I'm an entrepreneur, I want to be an entrepreneur? It's everywhere on social media now. People want to be. It's kind of a cool, coin, sexy term. When I started, like literally, it was 3 years after the recession, so nobody was hiring, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta do something, right?" And I met my mentor, and we just started, and that was it. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, what do you think about the whole movement?
No, I think entrepreneurs are. It's always been there. I think with this whole transition to digital and social entrepreneurship and all this thing, like it's still kind of little. I still don't get it. I went out and got kicked in the teeth a few times, and I did the job because I just had to do a job. Like you said, you had to wait tables. You had to scratch it out. Like there was there's never been like a get rich quick.
Yeah.
I mean, my business partner always jokes. He used to be a nonprofit. He's kind of still a nonprofit. There's no fast buck in this world.
Right.
Like, to get the fast buck is few and far between. You got to go. You just got to, I probably drove 1,000 miles this week in my car, and was calling on accounts all week long with our new distributor. Just you got told yes way more than I got told no, but it was like it's hard work, man. I was 15, 16-hour days driving 2-3 hours at a time every day to get where you're going, and you're still grinding. You got to 100%. You got to grind every day.
100%. Matt, what's the question you got?
Question I've got. What did it take for you to get over the hump of hiring somebody else? Of like trusting somebody else with your service?
No, I'm actually glad you asked that, because that's Kyle and I are both kind of my business partner Kyle are both kind of I don't want to say control freaks, but it's like we started this. We think we're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna have this little business. I'm gonna make booze, and like we're gonna have a little bar, and we're gonna like neither of us ran a restaurant, and neither of us made liquor, and you're like, the next thing you know, you got 35 employees, you got an event space, a distillery, a cocktail bar, a restaurant. You're on the road doing sales, and you have to trust people, and it's scary when you're like, this last 2 weeks, my operations manager, my business partner, and I, we've all been on the road. So it's like our new general manager, who's only been a general manager for 2 months, like, you're in charge. Yeah. Don't screw up.
And by the way, if you're watching this, all the Long Road crew, we love you all.
Yeah, absolutely, we do. I couldn't live without them. They're great people. I love them all, man. And they you know what? And they did a great job.
It's scary though.
But you gotta you're like, I'm not gonna be here in the morning when the lights come on and they turn the stills on, and I'm not gonna be here at night when they turn the lights off and the last customer leaves the building.
Was it good though in the weeks?
No, they did a great job. But at the same time, like it took a long time for us to all right, I got to trust you to do it. But at the same time, I think that's been part of the benefit of the business is that it's forced me to trust people, and you got to you got to give them a chance.
Yeah.
And you got to give them big expectations and expect big follow through.
So how are you setting the culture within Long Road? Like, what are some things that you're doing?
We're not micromanagers. I think as hard as it is to want to be there all the time, we're like trying to set the culture of like good expectations, and that's your department. Like, you're the chef, you run the kitchen. You're the front of house manager. You need to make sure every customer that walks through this door is happy. You run the production, and there's all the booze we make. I don't think I have 2 full-time guys and 1 guy that works 2 days a week part-time. Like, and all the booze we crank out, and it's like, so that's a big responsibility for creating, packaging, like formula development. All that things have to happen with 2 guys. So they're acting as, there's not like a clearly defined job role. It's like you do everything. You're not a guy who like gets like, oh no, you don't make it, and somebody else packages it. Like, no, you go through the whole process, and so it's still hard. It's hard to be out of the building. It's hard to like. But I want to be. Like, I had more fun this week being on the road, doing sales, interacting with customers than I've had in weeks, man. I just like, and that's all I want to do is be out selling right now.
Now you're selling right now. We're promoting. But that's actually really funny. You brought that up. Like titles. What's your title? You have one? For Grand Apps.
I don't know if I actually
See right there. That's what, man, I'm happy that you don't care. Do you care?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
All right, cool. I never actually really gauged that, so it's kind of funny. I've always been the same. Like, I think my title on my email says partner or something. I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
But you do everything though, and that's what, like, I've literally lost employees who've come in, team members, like, because they're like, well, what's my title? And I've literally had a one-on-one sat down with them, and I was like, here's my belief. I was like, I don't believe in titles. Like, I just don't. Like, I mean, you have a certain parameter of, like, roles and responsibilities, and, like, but it's always going to shift as the business shifts. We're going to keep pivoting, right? Because we're a small business. And I think that they left because of that, because they weren't as happy, because it's not as big corporate structure. Here's your title, you're a cog. Like, and I hate that, by the way. I'm a purebred entrepreneur that, like, just pivot quick, So I'm happy about that, because we don't roll like
I just have high expectations. I'm just gonna ask you to do things sometimes, and
yeah,
same. Like it's all everybody's in on this. We're rowing together, and if you're not rowing with us, then
same, man.
Find a different boat.
So what's been not an obvious, but what's been the most fun that you've had with this 3-year endeavor?
The most fun, I mean, it is. Last year, we went to Copenhagen, Denmark.
Okay.
Right, like so we when we started this, you gotta make vodka, you gotta make gin, you just put whiskey down in a barrel.
Yeah.
But we made this weird product called Aquavit, which is a Scandinavian spirit made with caraway and dill. You could find it once in a while in Michigan. Yeah. Nobody made it here in the United States. And we're like, we're just gonna make this for us, right? Like, we're gonna make things for everybody else. We're gonna make something for us. Little did we know that this thing that we came up with, and our distiller Kyle, he just got real into it and like did all this research, and we're just like, we had 2 of them, we knew what they tasted like. We didn't know even if they were good or not.
Yeah.
And so we knew what like the standard said it had to taste like. Okay. It was caraway and dill. Okay, so he just like came up with this amazing recipe.
Interesting.
We sent it into the first spirits competition, so you just like FedEx bottles, you don't tell FedEx. You don't sell FedEx or mail in booze, but you mail FedEx through to some booze, and Denver International Spirits Competition, and this we get the postcard, and it's like, you were named best in show, tied with a $200 bottle of scotch.
What?
And we're like, oh shit, this is cool. I guess this is a thing. So like we sent it into some other competitions, and it like double gold, platinum, like.
Really?
Yeah. Then we go to our big spirits association. It's called American Craft Spirits Association. Yeah. It's like all the biggest craft distillers around the country.
Yeah.
We're there last year, and we knew it's going to do well, because now at this point it's won a bunch of big awards at pretty reputable places like San Francisco International and SIP Awards, and like we get the best in class, then we get the best in category, and we're like, now it's only like the 5 categories are left, and they're going to give the best in show. And we're like, this is crazy, man. And we won the whole damn thing.
That's cool as shit.
It was wild.
That's pretty cool.
I'm having my like Howard Dean moment as I'm like speaking on the stage, And so we went to in Copenhagen. It's the Scandinavian countries, the home of Aquavit. And so we got to go last year to the World Aquavit Festival, the first time they ever had one, and just take my wife and my business partner and his wife, and
that's cool.
Got to go for 7 days and hang out with like the people that actually do it in the motherland. Yeah. And so that's probably like one of the most fun things we got to do. It's just like, that's cool. That's the reason we got to go, is because we made this oddball thing, and they put us on the map. And you can still only buy it in Michigan, but like, that's cool. It's wanted all over the world. That's super cool, man. So what's next for you guys? What are the plans? So we're just keep moving with distribution. I'm still my biggest customer, as much as I sell in the world. So we're gonna keep. We just switched up to a new distribution partner, Imperial Beverage from Kalamazoo, another Michigan-owned entrepreneurial success story, and they brought us on to be their signature brand, and we've been in the market 2 weeks with them, and they're just crushing it for us and providing us a lot of opportunities. So we really want to own Michigan.
So you've been on the road.
So I've been on the road.
Yeah.
And we want to own Michigan, and then at some point it's going to start expanding into some other markets. But got to be intentional about how you do that because you want.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
You want to win wherever you go, and then it's also going to cause us to probably want to do some expansion of some production and think about maybe some other places in the world we might want to open a small distillery or cocktail bar. But for right now, just keep winning at what you got to do every day.
That's it. Keep winning. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
You got any last comments you want to say to the viewers?
No, I just
No, that's. I'm just kidding.
it's great to be with other entrepreneurs and
100%.
talking, and I know it's a great culture we have here in Grand Rapids.
Oh, and be on the lookout for brand new series and segment, maybe a podcast coming from Jon or Long Road. It's gonna happen soon.
Yeah, good. You're gonna hold me to that.
No, Matt, can we do that? We'll set it up. We'll make it happen. All right, that's it. Episode done. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks. Cheers.